doggy, check out this puppy. Only on Steiner Family Motorsports.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Steiner Family Motorsports. As always, my name is Tim Steiner, 2021 Iowa champion, off-road racer. Been racing since I was 4, riding since I was 3. Today, I'm super excited to announce I'm going to pick up my Stark Varg. Going to be first impressions, first ride, my girlfriend's first impressions. It's going to be great for her because she doesn't like using a clutch. She's never really ridden a dirt bike too much in her life. So this is going to be really good for her. I've had a down payment on these since the middle of 2022. The original expected delivery date was January 23rd, 2023. And obviously that got pushed back. If anyone knows, it was hard to get them in ports. The states had a weird thing where each state had to get approved prior to them being shipped. And I've got it from PA, and it's just taken a while to get in. However, it's finally here. I'm going to pick it up. I got the 80 horsepower version. I usually ride a KTM 350. Of course, I'm going to keep my bike. This will just be like on the side, good for me to practice on after work. And, you know, it's so quiet, low maintenance, and it's good for my girlfriend to be able to ride as well. So I'm just super excited. Make sure you guys stay tuned. We're going to take a trip down in the 1998 Ford Ranger. Got it all loaded up. 3-hour drive we go, but it was the closest dealer when I placed my order back in the day. So stay tuned along the ride, and I'll catch you when I get there. All right, guys, got it loaded up. Starting to rain. Gonna head out of here, and I'll see you guys when I get home. Shout out Scott's Power Sports. Super stoked on this. You know, some pretty unique differences that I've noticed so far. I'll tell you guys how the update procedure works on the handlebars, how to know if it's due for an update, how to make sure the bike is turned off and not just in standby mode. Because if it's just in standby mode, your clock on your phone and on the bike will continue to tick and add up as if it's on because it's just in standby mode. Also, they gave me the 110 adapter for the stand here. So I'll give you guys a rundown on the stand. Also in the phone, you can change the settings on the charge rate. As you can see, man, this thing is just amazing. The quality of these hubs, the machining of it. It has high and low speed for rebound, and then obviously high and low speed for compression. I got the rear brake pedal. There's a couple things to go over that are loose when you get the bikes, depending on your dealer. I do really like that they put this foam inside the skid plate here. It's just going to keep mud and stuff from going in there. The carbon fiber is sick. So yeah, I'm going to go over all that stuff. But right now, while I'm waiting for my girlfriend to give her first impressions as well when she first sees the bike, I'm going to be going over this tool set. I haven't opened it yet, but I'm super excited to. And then obviously they give you this Stark phone. So it's just a basic Android phone kind of. You got your Stark app here. Again, I'll go over much more detail on this later in this video. This will not be a ride video. Make sure you stay tuned and subscribe. That will be in the next video. As you can see, it's been raining all day. It's pretty nasty out here, so I'm not going to be ripping the bike yet. But yeah, so the phone's pretty sweet. I'll give you guys definitely a better overview later in this video. Seems like a pretty solid phone, waterproof, USB-C charger, battery life seems to be good, but I'm going to be opening up this toolkit. So it includes 2 different torque wrenches, obviously different ranges, as you guys can see, screwdrivers, bits, a bunch of stuff, extensions. So let's pull this thing apart. Oh, let's go. I like the color of this thing. It's like a teal. Nice handle. Looks to be probably a powder coated finish. If you guys didn't know, this channel is a powder coating channel. The reason I can tell is just based on the coverage, what it looks like. The finish of it. It's not paint. Let's flip this guy open and check it out. So torque wrench settings, paper, you know, like a manual on it if you're not aware of how to use a torque wrench. This little towel, that is sweet. Look at this thing. Hell yeah. Alright, I got it all put back together. Pretty simple, pretty sweet. I do like that they make these easy access and then you can just set them down in there. So you can open this thing up, get it set up so you're not like trying to dig through stuff to get it to work. Some of the slots are pretty specific. I might put a little note next to them like Torx and Allen or like an A or a T, just so when I'm putting them back away it's real quick, but it's really not that hard to figure it out. You get your adapters here, 17 mil, 13 mil, another adapter, small Torx. This is a T30, yeah, T30. Then you get a T, this looks like a 25 if I had to guess. Yep, T25, T45. This is 10 millimeter Allen, obviously your extension, both extensions, a nice screwdriver. Oh, that handle feels pretty good. Sweet torque wrench. Never hurts to have good quality torque wrenches, so I'm super stoked on that. And the bike has a lot of the ratings of what torque, like on this nut here, I'm not sure if it'll pick it up, but it tells you, yeah, you can see the Newton meter torque on that sucker. They give you a 13 mil wrench, 8 mil wrench, 10 mil wrench, 2 10 mil wrenches. Yep, 2 10 mil wrenches. So that's pretty sweet. And then obviously, like I was saying, little spoke tool. Again, your spokes will loosen up on your first couple rides, completely normal, just like a KTM. And they give you a nice T handle. Basically all that there is in this toolkit, but I think it's every single tool that you need to work on this bike, so that's really awesome. All right, first impressions, Westy, what do you think? She already...
So, I rode with no helmet in my brand new Converse, and I already grass stained them.
Yeah, she tipped it over, but I only had it on 10 horsepower. It's really not enough. It doesn't have enough to get out its own way when you're like turning real slow. So she's going to be on 20 now. She has 30 and 40 on deck. And then I have 80 on there and 5. So do not go in 80, okay?
I'm not touching anything.
What are your first impressions of the look of the bike, though?
I love it. And honestly, even just being on 10 horsepower, I don't think it was quite enough. But it was pretty fun. I didn't whiskey throttle it. I didn't stall it out because there's no clutch.
Yeah.
So all of the above are great things.
And I was explaining to her a little bit. Right now it's in neutral, as you can see on the screen. You press down once, it's in gear. We're in mode 2. All you do is press up to go into mode 3 and down into 2. And mode 1 right now is only 10 horsepower. We're going to stay out of that. It's just not enough. So I already took it on the road for a second, and I may have done a rolling burnout on accident in 80 horsepower, so I took off the edge of the knob a little bit. I'll tell you what, 80 horsepower is insane. What do you think? when you saw me?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I didn't ride it in 80, but watching you ride it in 80, I immediately told him to put a helmet on because
Yeah, she did.
I trust him, but it's a little wild.
I haven't touched anything on the bike. I haven't checked any bolts or anything, so this is a real first impression right now, and she's gonna give it a go.
Bye.
Go ahead.
Can I go all the way up and turn around?
I mean, it's really wet up there.
Am I gonna tip over?
No.
Not if I go fast.
No, go fast.
Didn't tip over.
She says that
No
she's
one
still
laugh at
pretty
me.
nervous.
I'm still a new rider.
Now
Can't
she's
even call
officially
me C-class
officially
goon.
crashed both of my bikes. My 250 race bike I had, as well as a Stark. She tipped it over, but hey, had to get it out of the way. So she's still in 20. I tried to put her in 30. She didn't want it. All right. This is 80 horsepower, in case you guys don't know. And no, this is not my normal helmet.
This man is wild.
It's like nothing I've ever ridden before. All right, got this thing cleaned up now that we rode it in the mud for only like 20 minutes. What were your initial reactions of it? I know we kind of went over this before, but
I thought it was pretty awesome. I've never been a manual girly. I've always been automatic, so not having a clutch is pretty sick. It makes it a lot easier for me. And the fact that you can turn up and down the power so I can ride at my speed and you can ride at your speed is just pretty awesome.
yeah. And if you guys didn't catch it, I had it set in mode 1 as 10, 2 as 20, 3 as 30, and 4 as 40 horsepower. And when I was testing it out, I put it in 80 at times, and it was just absolutely insane. But you can change the engine braking, as well as they have a virtual flywheel. I don't know if you're able to tune that yet, but I think that's coming soon. There's a lot of stuff since it's so new. There's a beta ride mode in there, so you can change your bike to only be as a 250 or as a 450. And I'm sure in the future, power-wise, I'm sure in the future they'll probably have that feature more readily available and not in a beta. But I haven't messed with any settings or sag or anything like that because I haven't put gear on or anything. I wasn't going to ride it the other day, but I got on it just to go put it away, and I was like, dang, dude, I just had to ride it around a little bit more. My overall impression of it so far is it's like nothing I've ever ridden. I've never ridden an Alta or anything, but when I saw this bike, I pre-ordered in the middle of 2022, and it finally came in, and now it's April of 2024, and I finally have it. I do like that you can use this almost like a shifter, so you could have it set up faster for fields and then shift down and change your bike characteristics depending, which is nice. And I will be going over the whole startup procedure, update procedure, how to know if it's in standby mode, how to put it in neutral, and just some of the stuff that I learned. They do tell you a lot of this when you pick your bike up, but it can be confusing, so I'll try to sort that out for you guys. One of the craziest things that we're doing is we're adding a hand brake on the bar and keeping the foot brake. So we have a Brembo master cylinder up here. We don't want the Stark Formula 1. We're gonna get the Stark line because it's gonna be too long, so I know we'll have extra play because the line is supposed to go from up there all the way to the caliper back here. And instead, we're able to go through the top cap here and delete the diaphragm and get a new cap so that it basically forces it all through the hand brake, which would have been like a clutch on a KTM. So that's going to be sweet, saving us some money. Also, one big thing I've learned, I haven't worn yet into the shock, but put like a piece of Velcro or something here to prevent the plastic from rubbing. I just know that that's a place where they rub, and I can see that it's obviously touching it, so I'm definitely going to put something there to protect it. I also ordered some grip tape, and I ordered a seat cover. This is a nice seat cover. It's, you know, diamonds and decently grippy, but I like ribbed seats. One thing I noticed about this bike though is the seat is extremely long. It's like probably 1.5 KTM seats. A normal KTM seat would probably end about here. I'm talking like a 2019 to 2022 style. It obviously has the water pump, if you guys don't know. There's a fan and stuff under the seat. I haven't taken the plastics off yet. I'll have a whole video of checking the whole bike out. But this is your charging port. Everything else is really similar, you know, triple clamps, forks. The billet hubs are super sick on this bike. A nice little trick thing. What I've noticed is there's just so much attention to detail, even in this where they hold your phone. It's just all billet, super nice, high quality. So I'm just really excited. I'm gonna put hand guards on it, not bark busters, just hand guards like my other bike. If you don't know, check out my channel. You'll see it around on the Instagram as well. So a seat cover, graphics kit, hand guard, levers, should be ready to rock. I can't wait for it to be a little bit drier here because it's so wet right now. We've had over 3 inches of rain this past week altogether, so just needs a little bit of time to dry out. Do you have anything else to add before we do show them the startup procedure?
I can't wait to ride it again.
Perfect. Yeah, she's ridden a KDX 200.
But I rode my Yamaha 125.
Yeah, she had a Yamaha 125. She didn't like it that she had to rev it so high. And then she rode my race 250 bike, and she looped it out into some trees and hurt herself and bent the foot peg. So
got some pretty nice bruises from that one.
Yeah, she did. My bike had a couple bruises from it too. This carbon up here looks so sweet, but without any further delays, let's check out the startup procedure. So this is the phone they give you. It's considered Stark. When you look at the model, it's just considered a Varg. It's actually a decent phone. I like iPhone, so I'm going to keep it. I'm just turning it on right here so you guys can see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like when you get it. You're going to need to update your Google account into the Play Store, update the Stark Varg app, and that's where you need to start. You need to make an account on Stark Future so that you can log in, because you have to obviously log into the app. The app is pretty sweet. Again, it shows your stats, total time on the bike. It's crazy that it's been that long, but I mean, you can see we weren't riding far. It was just really slow, just like showing how to use the bike on the stand. And I did go up my road, and I tell you what, it was crazy. I went from about a third throttle to maybe 3/4 throttle, going about 30 miles an hour. I cracked it open to that 3/4, and I spun the rear wheel all the way up the road. Like, I took off a lot of life off these knobbies. If you guys check this out, it's rounded pretty far already. But anyway, it's pretty cool. It shows you all your different rides, like straight up GPS. You can click on them and see where you rode. It's pretty sweet. You obviously have your ride modes. This is where you can change. I was just messing with stuff yesterday. But obviously power and regenerative braking. 5 different. I really don't mind it ran on max regenerative braking. It's not that strong. The engine braking on my KTM 350 is way stronger than it, period. So it's nice to just get some extra life out of the bike. Like while you're riding it, it just recharges it. And I will be doing like a range kind of video on it, on my kind of riding and a couple different things, different settings. Go over some stuff with you. So make sure you guys stay tuned. It shows you trails. And this is what I was saying, how some stuff is still getting developed. This feature will be available soon. Tracks, I'm sure that you could go. Oh, I think it's bringing me to parts now. But it's also sweet that you can order parts directly from your phone. Like, you just click on this. See, this is one thing. You click on tracks and it brings you to parts. So they're still working on some bugs and everything with updates. but it's coming along. I mean, you guys got to think it's a brand new bike, and this is a lot of technology that goes into them. On the charging, I'm going to keep it on 2 amp because I'm not one of those people that's going to be needing it to force charge quickly. I'm going to be charging on 240 or 220. I'm not going to be using the 110 adapter that they sent me. I'd rather it can be charged safely at that higher voltage, and it actually uses less power. If you guys know anything about electricity, it saves energy, and that's why a lot of stuff overseas is all 220 because it's just more efficient. But I'm setting it at 2 amps. Obviously, you'd have to click save if you didn't already. This is what I was talking about, the race mode. You can flip this on, and then it's a beta mode right now, and in the future, you might have to pay for it. But you can set your bike as a 250 or a 450, and it tells you, like, the limits in the class. It tells you what horsepower it will be. And that's really the basics of the app. Now, let's get into the bike. You can see it has no information on the bike, nor the Bluetooth is off. In order to clip the phone in, just set it in at an angle. You must do this. I tried not really pushing it in as far, and you can never get it to snap real easily, but now when you set it in there, it's pretty simple to get it to click. It's not that hard, but I've noticed that if you just kind of like set it in here and don't get it over, it sometimes is more difficult to clip in. So now that we got the phone on the bike, this is what the map switch looks like. So it's off right now, no lights. If you turn this on and you see a magenta purple color, your bike needs to be updated. And I'll kind of go over that in a second. So we're going to turn it on. We just hold it for a second. It gets brighter red. Yellow means you're good to go, no update. And it's telling you green flashing is in neutral. So it doesn't tell you it's in neutral on the phone yet because I'm not on the riding screen. But as soon as you shift into gear, now it switches to the riding screen. So you can see the bike is live. Come back here. Now to go into neutral, you press this until it flashes. Now you see on the screen, you're in neutral again. So if this green light is flashing, it means you're in neutral. To get into gear, or whatever map you want to be in, right now that's 1. You go up to go up, and you go down to go down. One thing that's awesome is even if you completely turn off the bike, when you go back down and press this to get back into gear, it's still in the original map that you just were in last. It doesn't go default back to map 1. So that's really good to know. If you did need this thing to be updated and you have the magenta color, you have to go and put it in neutral, and you just let it sit here. And eventually, this light right here will give you a flash of purple. And once it does that, you hold these 2 buttons together, and it will start updating. It's a little bit confusing. That one, I don't know. Even the dealer was like, man, I don't know. It's kind of difficult at the moment to kind of figure it out. But they're going to iron a lot of this stuff out. It's really nothing that affects the bike. Like, it's stuff that you can get around pretty easily. So I'm not going to do that. But I will give you guys a little bit of demonstration of how crazy this thing is. This is an 80 horsepower. I'm just going to touch the throttle. Like, barely at all. And I think I have regenerative braking completely off. And remember, this bike weighs 242 pounds, and this stand probably weighs 50 pounds, and it's rocking it. And that's no throttle. I'm talking not even quarter throttle, just real quick. So we're going to put it back in neutral just to give you guys a demonstration. Damn, it's hailing out right now.
Told you it was going to.
Anyway, you guys should still be able to hear me. We're going to hold this till it turns red. You'll hear a relay click, and your phone will buzz because it's disconnecting. And it will just show you ride. Obviously, that's not what we did. That was just our last ride. We didn't move. And the battery's at 86 right now. You'll see it's just flashing red. The bike is in standby mode. It's like it's dead. It won't do anything, but it is not off. You need to turn your bike off if you're like traveling and whatever. If you're at the track, this will be fine. It's not going to lose too much battery life. But what you do is you hold these 2 buttons down, and you're going to wait for a white flash. It takes a second. Once the white flash comes on, the bike is officially turned off. And just like that, now the bike's off. Disconnect the phone. The phone is wirelessly charged through this unit, which is awesome. Now you can see Bluetooth is off finally. It means that the bike is completely powered off. So this is your charging stand. So Scott Power Sports, shout out to them. They actually just gave me this adapter for free. 240 to 110 adapter. This is where it plugs into your bike. It's pretty cool. It looks like a paw print. And this is your main charger plug. Comes in and out. I haven't used the charger yet, but it looks really simple. Looks like there's a bunch of heat sinks in there. Also, when this thing is in charging mode, you have to turn the bike on. It needs to be on. That's one thing that they made sure to tell you. If not, it won't charge. It's a safety thing. And it turns on the water pump and allows it to run through the radiator. And if it gets warm enough, the fan will even kick on as well. So it's just a safety precaution. Keep everything cool. Just like LiPo chargers, like for RC cars. They have charger fans on them and whatever. So it's just making sure the battery stays cool and safe. This is what your charger port looks like. Pretty simple. I do want to go over a couple of my favorite things on the bike. I love the foot pegs in this part of the frame here because they're like a shiny chromish color. It's super nice. Really slippery. It's like polished or something. The attention to detail on this bike is just next level. Like I was saying, everything's billet. These clamps are super nice. These look just like KTM clamps, so you could KTM mounts. So you could probably put on most mounts if you wanted to change them, and you could move the phone and put it in a backpack or something. It just has to be within Bluetooth, but you won't be able to charge it, of course, with the wireless charger up there. A few other things are like this swing arm pivot bolt here, the pinch. Like, it just looks so good. They did such a good job integrating everything. And if you come to the back of the frame right here, you'll see that there's these two holes. That's where if you got a kickstand, you can mount it on there. I like it more than the KTM design, which if you had like an XCF and want to take the stand off, you'd always have that spot on the frame here where the bolt normally would go. So this is just a much cleaner look. The shock spring is super nice. I have this set up, I believe, for like 145 to 155, or I'll have to double check the specs. I don't remember. It was 2 years ago. So it's set up for a 19-inch rear wheel and a 21-inch front. They're not the greatest tires, but I've definitely ridden with worse. So, I mean, a tire is a tire, especially when you're just messing around. A 47-tooth rear, and I think a 15 front. Yeah, 15-tooth front. These grab bars are really nice. I haven't gotten this seat off, so stay tuned because I'll have a video of taking all this stuff off. But you can go through and touch finger to finger in here. So that's pretty cool.
That was great for me after I tipped it over, thanks to my terrible shoes that I was wearing while riding, but made it pretty easy for me to be able to pick it up. And again, this is around 240 pounds, and for someone like me who doesn't have a ton of muscle, it was fairly easy to pick up, so I definitely appreciated that.
Yeah, for sure. These billet hubs are nice. Again, just like the fronts, the rears are just super sweet. The quick, easy adjustment of chain tension, just by using this, it's a clicker system. It makes it so that it's super easy, super nice to measure. Takes all the guesswork out. Just the attention to detail and all this stuff, like I was saying, is so quality. Like, it just looks so clean. But this is your brake adjustment. It's actually super nice and easy to do. You just spin it, get it how you want it to be. All the pegs are nice and sharp. Like, this is good enough where I wouldn't think that I'd need to get an aftermarket set of pegs. I like a wider foot peg. This carbon fiber just... damn. So if you guys like this content, make sure you stay tuned. We're going to be doing some stuff for this bike. A lot of tests. I know you guys are pretty interested in it. So follow, subscribe, like. Hit up my Instagram. I post a lot of on the side stuff there. And yeah, this was a pretty cool puppy. I hope I see you guys in the next one. Get some mods on this thing. And let you know what I think about it. Because I'm a gas guy. I've never been on anything electric but an electric pedal bike for biking the tracks. Like I said, the 2 words that I would describe it on my Snapchat, crazy. It's just blows my mind. And I would suggest seeing if you guys can get one or have a buddy that will let you ride one, because it's like nothing I've ever had the experience before. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and hopefully I'll see you guys at the racetrack.